Okay, fellas, response to the men's chat from today. The men's chat posted today. Response to I'm being obedient, I'm putting in the work, I'm following God's instructions, but I still have not found her. Okay, my word to you is don't stop following God's instructions. Whatever he's telling you to do, continue doing whatever it is that he's instructing you to do. Don't stop the process now. And I want you to think about this when it comes to planting. And we focused on Adam and Adam tending the garden, being obedient to God's instructions as far as tending the garden, taking care of the garden. So I want you to think about this when you're thinking about the process that you're in. Yes, you're being obedient. Yes, you're following God's instructions. You're tending to your garden. You're taking care of business, and you feel like you're at a point where it's like, okay, God, I'm ready. I want you to think about this though. So when you plant a flower, you dig up dirt, right? And you put the seeds in the dirt. After you put the seeds in the dirt, you cover the seeds back up with soil, dirt, and then you start watering, you start nurturing it. Well, the thing is, while those seeds are in the ground, you may not see the work that's being done, but there's work being done. And that's the same thing when it comes to the journey of waiting for God to connect you to that one. So in this process for you, you're putting in the work. You're following God's instructions. You're doing everything that he's told you to do. But the thing is, there are things that you may not see behind the scenes that God sees. And just because you don't see anything, that does not mean that God is not working. That does not mean that there is no growth in the process, in the journey. Because the thing about it is, when you plant that flower and you continue to water it, over time, eventually a flower will bud from the ground. So you just have to look at it as you're at the point where that flower is still in the ground. But as you continue to water it, as you continue to be obedient, that's you watering. You're being obedient to whatever God is instructing you to do. As you continue to do that, one day that seed will turn into a flower, and you will visibly be able to see that flower and bloom, your spouse. So don't stop the process. Don't stop watering, tending to your garden. Continue doing everything that God has instructed you to do. And just remember this too. And I want, and this is males and females. I think sometimes we feel in the process, and it has been kind of like a status quo that majority of the time when it comes to relationship, it seems like the female is always the one that's ready. That has been somewhat the thought pattern when it comes to relationship, that the female is the one that's ready, and a lot of times the male is the one that's not ready. But that's not always the case. When you think about it, sometimes there are cases where, and go back to the book, The Capacity to Love. If you look at that book, God is trying to free and clear up your heart of anything that's inside of your heart that does not align with him. Anything that is not does not allow you to walk in his plan for your marriage. So if he's clearing out stuff to get your heart to a point where you have the capacity to love, a heart is not gender specific. A heart is a heart. So when God is clearing your heart, it's not, oh, well, the female this or the male this. He's just looking at your heart. So no matter if it's a male heart, a female heart, whatever it is, he's going to do what he has to do. Once you accept him in and you make that exchange, he is going to come into your heart and clear your heart. Now, the thing is, with the thought pattern of, well, females are mostly, they're the ones that's ready and men are not. They're females whose hearts are not, whose hearts do not have full capacity to love as well. So, understand that, that notion that the world sometimes, tries to identify as, females are the ones that are ready and males are not. It's a hard thing. And God knows, only God knows what's truly inside a person's heart. So when you think of this process, guys, don't look at it from that perspective of, well, the female is the one that's always ready, they're waiting for us. That's not the case. God has to work on each individual's heart, regardless of what gender you are, male or female. So continue in your journey. Do not stop the process. Do not stop tending to your garden. Keep watering your garden so that bud, that flower can bloom, and you can see all of the sacrifice you've made, all of the time you've taken to allow God to heal you and to give you the capacity to love. Don't forfeit all of the time that you've taken in order to get to a point where you're right at the cusp of seeing what God has showed you. So guys, keep doing what you're doing. I applaud you. It's hard to go through the journey when there's so many world influences telling you otherwise. So I truly do applaud you for sticking in there, and not just sticking in there, but staying connected to God, for being serious about the plan that he has for your life, and for the plan that he has when it comes to your marriage. So guys, keep doing what you're doing. And, I'm proud of you, and just keep tending to that garden. All right, guys, talk to you later. Bye.